started as a segment on our morning show today has spread and become an issue many people across the nation are talking about.
We're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We don't like to cover ourselves. We like to tell other people's stories. But today, one of our colleagues has become the story. News 8 this morning's Jennifer Livingston responded to an editorial on today's show to an email she received from a viewer about her weight.
She didn't respond as a sensitive anchor to a critical viewer. She wanted to address a deeper problem she felt the email represented: bullying. Here's a look at part of that editorial.
Hundreds and hundreds of people have taken the time out of their day to not only lift my spirits, but take a stand that attacks like this are not okay. I am much more than a number on a scale. And here is where I want all of us to learn something from this. If you didn't already know, October is National Anti-Bullying Month, and this is a problem that is growing every day in our schools and on the internet. It is a major issue in the lives of young people today, and as the mother of 3 young girls, it scares me to death. Now, I am a grown woman, and luckily for me, I have a very thick skin, literally, as that email pointed out, and otherwise. And that man's words mean nothing to me. But what really angers me about this is there are children who don't know better, who get emails as critical as the one I received, or in many cases even worse, each and every day. The internet has become a weapon. Our schools have become a battleground, and this behavior is learned. It is passed down from people like the man who wrote me that email. If you are at home and you are talking about the fat news lady, guess what? Your children are probably going to go to school and call someone fat. We need to teach our kids how to be kind, not critical, and we need to do that by example. To all of the children out there who feel lost, who are struggling with your weight, with the color of your skin, your sexual preference, your disability, even the acne on your face, listen to me right now. Do not let your self-worth be defined by bullies.
Now, this clip has had more than 63,000 page views on our website. It was posted at 7:30 this morning, and it has been shared hundreds of times on Facebook.
It's also grabbed the attention of all of the networks, all of which want interviews from Jen. And the only reason I mention that is to let you know that this topic of bullying has clearly struck a chord with many more people than just in the La Crosse area. Here to talk about it is Jeff Ryland from Gunderson Lutheran. You know a lot about bullying, and specifically cyberbullying. To begin with, what is cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying is the repeated and intentional use of technology, computers, cell phones, to inflict harm, to harass, to tease, to say hurtful things about another person to make them feel bad. And it's a growing problem, certainly with our children and our adolescent population.
As parents, how can we teach our children to do what Jen just did? How can we get them to stand up to bullies?
Jen was very brave, and I think she's an amazing role model for that reason. I was very touched by what she said. I do think it's very difficult for a very quiet, shy, unassertive, non-confident person, a young person especially, to be able to take that kind of a stand. But something even as simple as, don't do that, I don't like that, that's bullying, in a calm, firm voice, might be an okay thing for a kid to say. But I still think it takes a lot of courage to stand up to a bully. One of the challenges I think that we run into is it is becoming more rampant, if you will, in cyberbullying, partly because kids have much more access to technology than they used to have. And I really think parents perhaps can do something better as far as monitoring their kids' cell phone use and their texting, and how to even make text messages. What things are okay to text, what things aren't okay to text. It's not a one-time only lecture. It's not a contract. It's a conversation. It goes on year after year, week after week. Stories like this can be a wonderful touchstone for parents to talk with their children about their experiences with bullying, friends with who've been bullied, what they've done to handle it, just to make this a part of a family's conversation, because it's here to stay.
How big of a problem is specifically cyberbullying? When you think about when we were younger, you get bullied, maybe 6 kids in the hall saw it. But with cyberbullying now, like, your whole class can see in an instant what happened. How big of a problem is this?
Well, it depends on the study you look at. Some studies say 85% of kids that are surveyed are reporting being cyberbullied. Some say about 20%. So it really depends on the age, the size of the survey, the kinds of questions that are asked. Not everybody sees cyberbullying or defines it the same way. So it really makes it difficult to try to track. My opinion is that any cyberbullying is too much. And so we as parents or adults have to do whatever we can to give tools to the kids that are experiencing this in order to prevent it from happening at all.
To help stop this, how do we, maybe we should understand more about why it happens. Do you have any insight into why this type of activity happens?
Studies that have looked at this have identified that one of the reasons cyberbullying has gone viral, if you will, is because it's anonymous, relatively anonymous. Somebody can have a false screen name, they can have something that nobody else would recognize, so they have this relative anonymity. It's pretty easy to do. You just have to type something and send it from some sometimes unknown or somewhat secretive location or identity. It also, it takes less courage to do that. If I'm bullying somebody and I'm doing it face-to-face, it's a lot harder to do that than if I'm doing it from miles away in the secrecy of my own bedroom and nobody knows about it. I think another reason that makes it so common or so easy to do is that there's often a lack of supervision. Generally, kids that are bullying aren't really being watched by other people doing it. They're doing it either with a small group or by themselves, so parents aren't very aware of it. Also, it can go viral very quickly. You can send that message to many people, and you can do it any time. If I'm being bullied by my locker, it's at a certain time of the day. But if I'm being bullied online, it can happen anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
All right, Jeff, we are out of time, but we so thank you for your advice tonight.
You're welcome.
Now, we asked the man who wrote the initial email if he wanted to be on our show today. He didn't, but he did release a statement.
He said, given this country's present epidemic of obesity and the many truly horrible diseases related thereto, and considering Jennifer Livingston's fortuitous position in the community, I hope she will finally take advantage of a rare and golden opportunity to influence the health and psychological well-being of Cooley Region children by transforming herself for all of her viewers to see over the next year. And to that end, I would be absolutely pleased to offer Jennifer any advice or support she'd be willing to accept. Now, if you'd like to join in this discussion and if you'd like to see Jennifer's full editorial, it is on our Facebook page at News 8000 Facebook page. It's up there right now, and there are already hundreds and creeping towards thousands of responses. So if you'd like to join, that's where it is.